Chapter 6. Then. The smell of the book on that warm summer afternoon was ecstasy to the little girl. She pulled out of the sun into the welcoming embrace of the shade between two arms of a great oak. It wasn't that she didn't want to study. On the contrary, she was lost in the descriptions of the handsome tome. A far-off time, a spectacular struggle, a queen with a weighty decision to make that would shape her land for generations. And with the grass under her stockinged feet and the scent of honeysuckle on the air, she was almost there herself. Almost. Kendra! She flinched at the sharp voice, ripped out of that distant time and place. Hastily, she shut the book. "Auntie Iris, I was just—" A hand was already pulling her roughly off the ground by her arm, back into the house. In seconds she was halfway back to it, gray-cut stone looming over her dully. "I told you to stay in and finish your reading. What do you think you're doing, running around the garden? Look at you, you're filthy, you've ruined that dress." Auntie Iris looked firmly forward as she pulled open the door. I didn't mean to. Do you realize that I'm trying to give you the best of everything? The best education, the best life possible, considering. So why can't you behave? I've told you 1,000 times. Kendra's eyes were stinging, and she lifted the hem of her free hand, still holding the book tightly, to wipe them. "Oh, give me that," spat the voice impatiently. With a rapid tug, the book was out of her hands. "You'll ruin that too." She was being pulled up the stairs to her room. It felt terribly large, terribly empty, even after 3 years. Auntie Iris finally let loose her wrist, and stood at the door, casting a long gaze out of the window at the garden. "I'm sorry, Auntie," Kendra said quietly after several moments of silence. I was studying, Auntie. I just wanted to sit in the garden while I read. It's a good book." She tried to smile wide and earnest as tears subsided. The left side of her face pulled taut like brittle, broken leather. "I really liked it." Kendra met her aunt's eyes for the first time. She watched the look of pure revulsion flash across her face before looking away. Her aunt turned and closed the door. She was away down the hallway in an instant, heels snapping angrily against the floorboards, but somehow Kendra heard those muttered words even as they shrank into the distance. It should have been her.